jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tune into World Combat Sports.
Once again, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to World Combat Sports. Salute to everyone that's in the building. IB on deck with it. WCS, what up, OG? What's good with your IB? How you feeling, bro? This is another one. Salute to everyone who support the channel first and foremost. One love to you. Thanks for the support. This is pretty much a Canelo versus Bivol or Bivol versus Canelo preview. You know what I'm saying? Freaking press conference preview. And then of course I put the thumbnail up there for the weigh-in. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's going to be looking forward to the weigh-in, and then we can kind of see what happened when they face to face and everything. I don't think we're going to see much. The press conference was pretty boring, to be honest. I'm just being honest with you. It was pretty boring, but I'm going to go through some snippets of it. Some snippets of the presser. And man, and also I got some diamonds, man. We're going to talk about some diamonds that I have also on this live. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pretty much show a video of the best welterweight. You tell me what you think. And then also I'm going to speak on the cloud that is roaming around YTC about Canelo allegedly ducked, hilariously ducked, comedically ducked, laughing out loud ducked Errol Spence Jr. Just because he chose to fight Dmitrii Bivol. It's incredible. But first of all, let's get to the presser. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the presser. Not to get off topic. Let's get to the presser right quick. We're not going to spend too much time on the presser. Like I said, it was okay. You know what I'm saying? But what can we take from that presser? Anybody tell me, what can we take from the presser? Well, we can look at the fact that Canelo pretty much stated what we figured him to state. Be confident, you know what I'm saying, compose. And he really fits the bill as a fighter that's making leaps and bounds and taking risk in the business. He's absolutely sitting in that position when he's asked the question. He has no hesitation, y'all. Canelo has no hesitation answering these questions as to what he's trying to do. He said he like it. You know, he wants Bivol, you know, to be at his best. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you hear the words of Bivol. Bivol is pretty much stone-faced most of the time. Both of these guys spoke English in pockets of the press conference. And Bivol made it perfectly clear that you know, his training went well. And he's ready. He's trying to do something great. And stepping in there with someone to the likes and stature and notoriety of Canelo Alvarez at this point is not only a paycheck, but it's a legacy fight. Anyone who steps in there with Canelo right now is trying to put him on the left side. As you're looking at BoxRec, the right side. You know what I'm saying? They trying to put Canelo in the red zone, y'all. They trying to put Canelo in the red zone. So when Canelo looks at his BoxRec, he's in the red zone. They're trying to give him that L. That is a legacy fight. Just like when you look on Canelo's record and you see Floyd Mayweather, it's a red zone. So that's what Bivol's trying to do. If my take is, do I believe it'll happen with Bill, man? Because I'm not a Canelo hater. You know what I'm saying? I know exist in professional sports all the time. Pairs exist in boxing as we know it. But you can't take away all that he's accomplishing right now. Because I tell the brothers all the time, you know what I'm saying? I've said this about the black fighters. I said the black fighters need to align themselves so they can be the ones that's being chased and they won't be the chasers. They need to align themselves to be in the position. And I say that with all sincerity. You definitely want to be the person in Canelo's driver's seat when he's shifting the gears the way he is and driving wherever he chooses to, put it in park, get out, pick up another championship, get back in, shift another gear, get out, get another championship, get back in, bail out, spin tires, burn rubber, get back out, get another championship. The shit is redundant. You can't fade him. The only way you're going to fade Canelo is you beat him. That's it. You can run a fade with him, but he's running fades with champions and he's coming out with extra hardware. Once again, he's running fades with champions and he's coming out with extra hardware. Let me get to this live chat right quick. Have to be more considerate. Cooking with Sir Senior in the building. I see you. What's good with it? Salute at WCS. Salute to you, brother. OTB Boxing Class 101 on deck with it. I see you, brother. Bivol sounds more and more like he just happened to be there. I'm going to get to that too, OTB. I'm going to get to that too, for real. Cooking with Sir Senior said, if Canelo ducked EJ by not fighting him, doesn't that mean EJ ducked Bud by sending him an offer for $55 million? Well, we all know that Errol Spence didn't send anything. Okay. First of all, he didn't send him zero, nothing, because the fighters aren't in the negotiation process. They're not actively, the ones who's sending over paperwork. No, that's all Al Heyman. So I do get what you're saying, because Errol Spence is attached to Al Heyman. OTB say, yeah, got to respect that offer. 19 wins. He would be dangerous, win or lose. Yes, sir. IB say they won't give Bivol a decision on Cinco de Mayo weekend if it's a close fight. I haven't even got to that. Good point. So let me touch on something. You always hear me say receive the orders, right? You talking about a retired Marine, right? So in the structure of the military, we receive orders. A bit more orders when you lower rank than when you actually, put in time and you start to delegate orders. When I say this to associate it with boxing or attach it to boxing, that a fighter's receiving the orders, that's saying that you're basically ordered to carry out a specific task or operation a certain way. And in boxing, I always say that about the fighters. I don't know if they dare to carry out the orders. That means you're not winning. Period. That means you're not winning. The orders is always for the B side. My biggest curiosity with Bivol is, are we going to see another Callum Smith? Because, we was looking at the height and reach of Callum, and they was fighting for the WBC and WBA title. We thought this shit was going to be on point. It was going to be fire. And he literally went up there and became a Macy's mannequin. All he did was stand there and let Canelo just work him over, just like he was in there with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., just beating him and beating him and went to a decision. That shit was absolutely a car wash, man. I'm hoping Bivol hasn't received the orders. I'm hoping, because it just seems like Canelo's doing what Canelo does, man. And these champions aren't registering up to the hype. They're signing on, but they're not registering to win. They're not registering the competition level. The barometer isn't putting out the temperature that we want as boxing fans. We're not seeing these people. Who gave them that heat? Danny Jacobs made it look good, but he wasn't fighting Danny Jacobs for a title. He fought Callum Smith, Billy Joe Sanders quit, Caleb Plant, and all that shit, bro. These guys are not registering, man. We want them to meet the energy. We want them to meet the temperature. We want them to get acclimated in the early rounds of the fight where we actually know we in for one. Not this, oh man, they received the orders. How do you say that? Look at it. Have you ever seen that fighter fight like that? If a fighter is fighting a different way than what you've seen him in previous bouts, don't sit up here and try to convince me that it's only because he's in there with Canelo Alvarez. I'm speaking about him being in a legacy fight in defense of his title, and he goes in there and don't even give us, it looks like, he's not even giving us 100%. As if he's received the orders, he's received the pay, and all he's going to do is go in there and move around, and the fight's not even close when it seems like it's going the distance. So I'm hoping and praying that Bivol, his game face is legitimate, and he goes in there and fight Canelo. I know somebody at super middleweight, I know for a fact they won't receive the orders. And that's David Benavidez. I know that for a fact, y'all. And I know another person at 175, I don't believe that will receive the orders. And that's Arthur Beterbiev. I don't think he'll receive the orders. Now, Jeff Smith, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But look, it seems like Canelo might be on a quest to unify the 175-pound division. Now, if you know his record, and if you've been watching boxing for about 36 to 72 hours, you would know that Canelo has already been unified in 3 divisions, right? He's been unified. But the only division he's, unified all the way to undisputed, reigning, defending is super middleweight. He was the first to do it. So that's a legacy fight right there. That's a legacy credential right there. He goes up here to 175 and unify that. Y'all better stand the fuck by. Y'all already standing tall right now. You know what I'm saying? Canelo ain't my favorite fighter, but I got to give him his respect. You know what I'm saying? I have to give him his respect because of the way he's moving, the way he's performing, and he's very, very consistent with proving to the crowd that he's willing to take risk. You know how we have to pay him his just due? Is when I see my people that I said, hey, it'd be good if we had more and more at the top of the tier, more and more black fighters, right? But I see them chasing Canelo. So that's what it is, man. We'll stay tuned for the the weigh-in that's coming up. That's just a preamble. I just put this in the thumbnail so y'all can, stay tuned. There's no need for me to put a presser thumbnail up there. You know what I'm saying? The weigh-in is going to be coming up real soon, of course, on Friday. King Mitch on deck with it. What's good? Combat, what up? What up with you? DBMH. Salute WCS. Salute to you, my brother. Cruise Control was a champ when Canelo beat him. I'm not registering that yet. I lost my synapses. It went awry. I don't know what that means. Cruise Control was a champ when Canelo beat him. Oh, Callum Smith. Yeah, Callum Smith. Yeah. D-Ray Promotions on deck with it. What's good, my brother? Velocity Cuts on deck. If Bivol freezes up under the bright lights, it'll be easy dub for Redhead. Yeah, real talk. Easy. Also, if you look at my thumbnail, I have Charlo versus Castano 2. The press conference is going to be Saturday, May 14th. Okay, I'm putting that up there so everybody can tune in because I really believe, I'm telling it to you, right? I really believe this press conference is going to be fire. I truly believe this press conference is going to be fire because whenever you bring the Charlos out with someone who can talk trash, we remember what happened to Jermell Charlo and he was in there with Tony Harrison. It turned into fireworks. Well, you know what I'm saying? We in May. I expect this one to be an early 4th of July with Brian Castano and Jermell Charlo. I really do. Castano going to talk his shit. Jermell going to talk his shit. And it should be very, very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? They will be fighting for the super welterweight, undisputed crowns. That means all the marvels from the WBC to the WBO and the ring in between. Once again, from the WBC and the WBO and the ring in between. Lend you all that shit. They fighting for everything with the super welterweight division. So I put it up there. You know, that's what it is. Be sure you tune into it. I already told you who I want to win. You know what I'm saying? But really, like I said before, I can't be hypocritical. You know, I want Castano to go in there and take them belts. But then again, I want Charlo to keep the belts. So it kind of sets him up from other fights because he don't seem to have plans of moving up to 60. They up there moonwalking. You know what I'm saying, in place. So we really don't know what he's going to do. Them Charlo brothers keep on whining, lines lonely. And we don't know what risk they're going to take. But I can tell you this. I can tell you the Charlos are consistent with being the Canelo chasers. You know what I'm saying? How can you have 3 fighters in Texas with the bigger names in boxing and they all chasing Canelo Alvarez? How do you have that respect level in a footprint as big as Texas? And all 3 of these fighters, from Errol Spence, Jermell Charlo, and Jermall Charlo, they're all chasing Canelo Alvarez. They're coming up with some insane. I think Jermell and Errol said some of the most dumbest freaking requests. Jermell said if he could just drop down below 160, if he could just drop down to 158, yeah, dude, come on, that's the dumbest shit ever, bro. I'm starting to diagnose you with ADD, dumb. And then Errol, he's talking about a catch weight of 164, bro. Come on. That shit was so freaking frustrating. Man, what the fuck are you doing? You already have enough individuals out here lying for you. Okay? But then all along, we thinking that you're more focused on Terence Crawford. You're more focused on Terence Crawford. But behind closed doors, like I tell people, it's a lot more going on behind closed doors, and we found that out. They trying to say Tom Brown was clout chasing Canelo's fight week. No. Because I'm going to tell you like this. Tom Brown and Al Heyman didn't put this information out without Errol Spence knowing it. They didn't put this shit out unless Jermall Charlo knew it. They definitely didn't put it out without David Benavidez knowing it. So when I listen to this, and you're talking about a potential fight with Errol Spence at 164, let me show you something that makes a lot of sense to me. Because Jermall Charlo and Errol Spence didn't make sense to me. But let me show you something that makes absolutely sense to me. And y'all tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about this right here.
Canelo, there were reports yesterday about a Errol Spence fight at 164, and I don't know if you heard about it. Anything you want to say about that?
No, nothing. Like I said before, I don't want to do things like that, right?
Hold up. He said, I don't want to do things like that. Now, it's Cinco de Mayo now. It's Cinco de Mayo. I'm giving Canelo the shine he deserved, not the shine because it's Cinco de Mayo. I'm giving him the shine he deserved because he's speaking absolute truth in how he worded this response.
Canelo, there were reports yesterday about a Errol Spence fight at 164, and I don't know if you heard about it. Anything you want to say about that?
No, nothing. Like I said before, I don't want to do things like that, right? In cash weight 164, why me? I don't need to do that.
Okay.
Hold up. I didn't let it play. No, nothing. Canelo say, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. Why? Why do I need to do that? I don't need to fight no fucking catch weight. If you're going to go out there and play with the big boys, you play with the big boys. If you're so desperately seeking Canelo Alvarez, you go play with the big boys at 168 and get canceled. Both of y'all, go get canceled. Jermell Charlo, you one division below and all you've been doing is fucking whining. Go up to 68 and fight somebody in order to pique the interest of Canelo Alvarez at 68. Errol Spence, you need to stay down there and face your fate with Terence Crawford at 47. You shouldn't be trying to sneak behind the scenes so your caretakers can go out here and say, no, what he meant was he was just daring to be great. He wanted to take a risk and go up there and fight Canelo. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with it? Y'all clout chasing Canelo's name. That's what's wrong with it. You have business that sits and await you at 147. You shouldn't be trying to make no motherfucking catch weight at no other weight except the weight you're at. And that don't have to be a catch weight. All they have to be is the weight limit, either 147 level or below. That's it. It's disturbing with my prognosis that Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo, first of all, Jermell Charlo was handed as the runner-up. He was food. What I was seeing going on is that they're trying to get two of their biggest fighters per se, paid. Whether it's Jermell, I don't give a fuck. But they're trying to get him a paycheck. So they want to say if he's able to conquer Jermell Charlo, he gets Errol Spence. Who wants to see a fight with Errol Spence moving from 47 damn near the super middleweight? He would absolutely get murdered. And then his caretakers will have to grab the motherfucking casket and tote his ass down the aisle. Well, it happens like that sometimes. We have the fallen, sometimes we have the fallen going out on your shield. Sometimes it's like that, We have to just salute him for just taking risk. But goddamn, I'm going to miss him. Come on, man. Who wants to see this dude move up to 164 and get canceled? Being how Canelo knows it, if he even was to take this shit and consider Errol Spence moving up to 64, I think he'll take it easy on Errol Spence. He'll still stop him, but he'll take it easy on him because he didn't know no better. And that's a fucked up part about this whole situation when I see these fighters Canelo chasing. Not clout chasing. They're Canelo chasing right now. Fuck clout. Canelo is the clout. Canelo is the clout, bro. They Canelo chasing. The BS narratives that's going around saying he ducked? Are you stupid, dumb, stupid? How the fuck he's ducking a person Two people that don't even come close. Even if you put a microscope, look, if I got a magnifying glass and put it up to both of their box wrecks, it was no evidence forensic wise that I can locate in Errol Spence's box wreck DNA and motherfucking Jermell Charlo's box wreck DNA that would determine that they deserve a fight with Canelo Alvarez off what they're hoping and wishing. That it was a duck. How? How am I supposed to find conclusive evidence with a magnifying glass that they have did enough for them to be considered a duck? Selecki? Danny Garcia? Sean Porter? Kell Brook? Mikey Garcia? Yordenis Ugas? That is the one that y'all saying that's enough on his resume to say that this man, Canelo Alvarez, ducked Errol Spence. Y'all can't be that stupid. The fuck are y'all smoking and drinking? Y'all ain't just doing one. Y'all doing them both together. You even dipping the shit you smoking into your drink and still taking a shot. That's how fucked up y'all are. How in the hell are you going to sit up here and put out a narrative? That's why people be looking at YouTube, right? And they be having all these disconfigurations and distortions in their expressions. And they saying to themselves like, no, how did they take all this time to come up with this bullshit ass narratives to believe that Canelo is ducking Errol Spence and Charlo? Where did they come up with this? Weren't they trying to do better with reporting on news that makes sense? It's too many news segues or media segues out here that's pushing false, bogus narratives, which in the mainstream media is called agitprop. Y'all know what agitprop is? It's underlying propaganda. That's what that shit is. I'm disappointed. The energy went from, check this out. Check out the timeline. The energy went from Bud Crawford not showing up to Errol Spence and Ugas fight, right? Saying that Errol Spence should have showed up. He would have hyped the fight up. Just imagine Terence Crawford. Just imagine if Terence Crawford would have showed up. People made their thumbnails. And then this shit happens. So for all this work, Bud Crawford shows up to Errol Spence fight. Just say he doesn't go in the ring. It hypes up. It get all the publicity it needs. Oh man, he's in the same building, blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. And then this shit comes out. Don't you consider it to be a waste of fucking time? Don't you now respect the moves that Bud Crawford is making by not running behind trying to appease these Spencerholics? They already drunk off ignorance and stupidity. Andrew Charles on deck. What's good? Mayweather versus Dangerous Moore, May 14th. I can't believe Velocity put that in the chat. But hey, I'm not mad. I can't believe you put Mayweather versus Dangerous. You didn't have to put the Dangerous in the front. You just could have put his first name, bro. Because the dude ain't fought since I was in a stroller, man. Oh, Daniel Jacobs. Yeah, you're right. I get you, Mitch. Yep. Canelo can unify light heavyweight division in 2 fights. I think they wait for Beterbiev to age a bit more, though. Well, look at it this way. He's 37 already. And I don't agree with that aging bullshit. You know why? Because, Gennady Golovkin's been over there aging very well, just like goddamn Cheese. He's been aging, waiting for Canelo to come back and knock on his door and say, hey, my friend, I'm here for you. We still have a fight. Okay, my friend? Thanks for being patient. We're going to do a trilogy and you're going to get a $15 million payday again plus, and you're good. Okay, my friend? Thank you. Thank you, Canelo. Thank you. That's what Gennady's been doing. He's been aging too. I don't think Beterbiev has shown yet. He hasn't shown any signs of dilapidated technical abilities to go in there and perform at the high level. He hasn't shown me that. Like, I hate to sit up here and bring up Marcus Brown. I hate to do that, bro. But he did not show as if he was on the decline. So they can sit up here and wait till he age out all he want. But if Canelo waits till that man vacates the title or whatever the case may be, then people are going to scratch their fucking head. But you know what the good thing is about that, Mitch, and everybody else in the live chat? If Canelo fights Artur Beterbiev, won't it be the first champion that he actually fought that was reigning WBC champion at the time he earned the belt? Won't that be history in itself, that he is fighting a champion that is reigning WBC for the first time? Don't you know the history? Because people say I don't know boxing or whatever. I agree. But anyway, when he fought Matthew Hatton for his first WBC title, 154, wasn't that vacant? I could have sworn it was vacant when he fought Miguel Cotto in 2015, right? I could have sworn it was vacant. And then coming full circle to 68, we all know that David Benavidez lost that WBC title. And Canelo flew in at the right freaking time and swooped that up with a 2-for-1 chicken dinner when he stepped in there with Callum Smith. So I think Artur Beterbiev, yeah, it'd be very sweet for him to finally face a champion that's a reigning WBC title holder. I might be wrong. I mean, I'm in my 50s. I have, shit to go on. My mid part of my brain, the cataloging process doesn't work effective like it did when I was in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? I'm sober. I don't really take enhancing products. But correct me if I'm wrong on any of that. Want to be the first champion that he was facing for a title? I'm talking about WBC title that was actually reigning, defending. I don't think he did it at 68, 60, or 54. But he may be able to do it at 75. Okay, moving on. Texas boxing, Canelo chasing. For real, they Canelo chasing, bro. And I know somebody going to steal my term. I see people out here stealing my terms and don't want to give me credit. I started with the Cambozo. People use it. Don't give credit. It's okay. But right now, boxing is Canelo chasing. And why they Canelo chasing? It's simply what Canelo said in his post-fight conference that went viral. Payday, payday, payday. Nobody on this live chat believes Errol Spence will defeat Canelo Alvarez in 164. No one. You know why I say no one in this live chat? Because I have faith that they're intelligent human beings. They don't believe that bullshit. I don't want to do things like that. Out of nowhere comes his camp mentioning a catchweight for Usyk, though. Hey, listen though. Listen how that differs from the catchweight of Errol Spence. He don't want to do that because he's actually going below the weight that he's currently reigning, defending, undisputed super middleweight champion. He's basically making a compromise to go below the weight, closer to a division that he abandoned. He abandoned the 160-pound division. He left it. So why am I going to placate Errol Spence Jr. and meet him at a catchweight between 60 and 68? Why, Mitch? When he say he doesn't have to do that, I'm looking at it more so on the wavelength of him saying he hasn't did enough. Why should I do that? I don't have to go down there for a catchweight with him. The fuck? Why would I do that? But for Usyk said he'll go down. Why? Because we all know damn well that heavyweight is a different monster. What if Canelo was going up there to challenge Tyson Fury. Canelo comes in barely making, low 200s. And Tyson Fury comes in there just because he know he can. Yeah, I'm going to come over here at 305 this fight. I'm going to teach that little rascal. You just can't be jumping around here like you're going to, pick up a trinket every time you go to a division. Nah. Tyson Fury coming down like 305, 310. Welcome, little buddy. How you doing? Oh, okay. I like how you took the risk to come up here, but I'm gonna beat the Dosser. Why not? Alexander Usyk said he agree. He said he'd like to fight Canelo. You know why? Because Canelo is the name right now. Not Usyk. Canelo is. But the positive aspect about Alexander Usyk, he seems to be one of these guys that's all about the challenge too. You have to speak about this now. Alexander Usyk, formerly unified cruiserweight champion, undisputed, moves up and faces a subpar mediocre opponent in Chase Witherspoon. Then he steps in there with a mediocre performance against Derek Chisora. But to my surprise, he steps in there and gives Joshua those hands and takes his title. He's only missing one title, which unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen between him and Fury. But in between time, the man came from cruiserweight. He's not considered a big heavyweight. Why not move down to face somebody like Canelo's just trying to move up? Why not? Man, why not? Canelo can really leave up out of here 6th division champion. That's fucking off Bridgerweight. You feel me? Like if Canelo stays around, he's 36, 37 still, he might fuck around on Bridgerweight. Let me go kick over and title on Bridgerweight. I like it. I'll leave up out of here 7th division champion. You know what I'm saying? There's not too many 7th division champions in boxing, period. But the closer he gets to Manny Pacquiao, the greater his light will shine above Floyd Mayweather. You feel me? I like the fight because Usyk's a small heavyweight. He's got height. Usyk's tall as shit. I've seen him in person. He's tall as shit. That would be a tough fight, really, for Canelo. That would be an extremely tough fight because, me seeing Usyk in person, he just gives me that vibe that dude has some nuts and bolts that's just fumbling around in there that really hasn't been screwed on tight in a long time. Usyk is that dude. I seen him up close give this reporter that kept on prodding, poking, you know what I'm saying, trying to get him to say something. And then he reached out and he touched Usyk on the shoulder. They was right in front of me. Usyk turned around like it was motherfucking Frankenstein. You know what I'm saying? Like it was Annabelle horror. Usyk turned around and looked at that reporter. And that motherfucker had that stupid grin on his face. And that shit disappeared just like David Blaine walked up and did a magic trick. Expression, poof, be gone. Man, I saw it in Usyk's eyes like, motherfucker, are you like, what's wrong with you, man? And then Usyk's camp had to turn around. It wasn't an American who did that. These guys had to be from the UK or whatever. But his handler or whatever, his team that was with him had to turn around and say, hey, you need to back off. You know what I'm saying? You need to back off. Don't do it again. Back off. I think Usyk is the right guy for a big time fight for Canelo. Now I'm gonna tell you another thing people are gonna hate. Seriously. People are gonna hate the fact if he goes in here and cleans out Bivol and don't experience any type of adversity. You know what I'm saying? People gonna have trouble on their hands on this YouTube shit. Like people gonna have trouble because all you're gonna hear is Canelo. Canelo is currently, riding that tsunami that Floyd Mayweather was riding. And I know Floyd hates that shit. And he's running out of opposition so he can come back and steal the damn limelight. You know what I'm saying? He was happy that Logan Paul gave him a little bit of limelight. That's over. Done. Nobody's talking about that shit. Tenshin Nashikawa, nobody really gave a damn about that. But now he's fighting somebody named Dangerous Moore, Donnie Moore, or something like that hasn't fought in several years over. And they're fighting on the helipad over in Dubai. But Canelo's fighting somebody that's active and relevant. And it's way more difficult for Floyd to steal the limelight from Canelo right now. He can't do it. I mean, Canelo is illuminating from a distance, y'all. He's going in here collecting. How many champions has he beat in a row? Like he's like what? How many belts has he collected? He's collecting umpteenth. I think he's going for his ninth? I mean, he's just beating champions over and over again, bro. Just beating champions over and over again. He goes in here and he don't experience too much adversity with Bivol. Man, it's a wrap. You might have Jermell Charlo showing up, in a video with Canelo saying, "Hey, I'll fight you on Jupiter." I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, man. Let me put this link in here in case anybody choose to, hop on the panel. I don't want to take up all the time with the same topic, because when it comes to this Errol Spence, fiasco that's going on, it really diminishes the seriousness of reporting on fighting. Because here we are, we've been talking about this fight between him and Terence Crawford for several years, right? But yet, a side note, a backdoor deal was trying to happen, and it included Errol Spence fighting at a catchweight. And that tells me, are you truly trying to persuade us or convince us that you don't have the money to pay Crawford? Is PBC trying to convince the public, the general public, they don't have the money for Errol Spence and Terence Crawford? This is becoming a bit more strenuous than a bold-faced lie. Like, you have all that money, 45, for him to face Jermell, and 55 to face Errol or David Benavidez? I don't know. I kind of did my conspirators, scenario-based, prognostication on what I thought about the Errol Spence and David Benavidez. So I looked at it like, yeah, they put Errol Spence in there as a filler, but really it might have been from David Benavidez. Because if Al Haymon is smarter than what I think and what people say, David Benavidez is much more of a threat than Errol Spence to face Canelo Alvarez. Now, Canelo probably looked at that deal on the back end. He probably knew for sure he was going to beat Jermell Charlo, but he's saying, you know what? I don't know what was in the contract, y'all, but I'm just saying, he looked at Errol Spence and David Benavidez, and he understands that Benavidez is the bigger threat. Unless it was in the contract, strictly Errol Spence, then I understand why Canelo probably, moonwalked away and said, nah, fuck that. And but look, they're trying to make it all about Errol Spence because Errol Spence at this point is a bigger name than Benavidez. He's a bigger name than Mal Charlo. Them redhead fight Amir Khan at a fake ass weight class. Yeah, he did his just due. But look at it this way. If he was able to seal or get that approved, because we know he has some rehydration clauses and some weight, right? That was earlier when he probably said, you know what? This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, we all are sinners, and it come up to a point where we start getting old and making decisions. Now, when it comes to the combat game, they have to make weight. And Canelo Alvarez he may be only 31, but still he may look at it like, well, I'm doing this because I feel this way now. At this time in my career, I may say, why should I go down to do this? I mean, a lot of changes happen. Why should I go down to face Errol Spence and he hasn't really proven anything? He's probably looking at him like, shouldn't you be focused on Terence Crawford? Something. IB say, what would these cats do? Canelo looking elsewhere, chasing his own legacy in his own lane. I don't know what they're going to do, but as long as they have their caretakers, they have the Spencerholics are slash caretakers. They have dual responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to continue to push these dead narratives. You know what I'm saying? Continue to bury them. And then go out there and play around and say, oh, let me try to bring this soul back to life. I need a new narrative. This is the only place I can come get it. And the narratives are so far-fetched, y'all, that you have people in the live chat that's sitting up here believing this bullshit. And then they get mad at me when I pop up over there every day, like they actually know me. I don't give a fuck about your feelings. When it comes to this boxing talk, it's boxing talk. But these people be getting extremely angry. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford is not even 1% of the boxing population. I probably had encounters with Bud Crawford more than most. But I don't go up here name dropping him all the time. I just say, hey, shout out to B&B. Shout out to Bo Mack and the team, Terence Bud Crawford. Good dude. One of my favorite fighters. Yes, I'm a fan of the fighter and I'm a fan of the sport. I can be both. You know why? Because I'm a grown ass man. I can think for myself. At least he got a payday. Yeah, he did. PBC got outbid by 60 million. Underlying propaganda. I learned something new. Yeah, man. For sure. Shout out to Alexander on deck with it. I'm just hoping Canelo say F Triple G and opt to fight the winner of Beterbiev versus Smith Jr. Now we talking. Now we freaking talking. If he turned the corner and he digress or egress rather, he egress away from Triple G fight and he want to fight Beterbiev, oh my God. Bro, they ain't gonna know. YouTube is just gonna be on the motherfucking distress right now, dog. Dude, if Canelo take that route and abort mission with Triple G, because look, this is another juxtapose, this a mental juxtapose that just came to thought, right? He goes in here and looks great against Bivol. Do you believe the fans are actually gonna give a fuck if he fights Triple G only because it's Canelo? Now, the person that benefits a lot from this is going to be Canelo because he's going to get paid regardless. And also Triple G. But when it comes to the fans, and if they're getting some on the back end, it's just going to be PPV. People are going to look at the performance he had against Bivol and say, we don't want to see him in there with no Gennady Golovkin. I don't want to hear that bullshit, bro. But that's a good point. I need to post that up. I need to post that so they can hit the replay on that. Velocity said, won't be surprised if Redhead fights John Ryder in the UK if he beats Bivol. Why would he face a slope of declivity and face John Ryder when John Ryder is not going to inject any type of anything that benefits his career? What is John Ryder going to do? What is he going to do, bro? John Ryder? Just because John Ryder goes in there and have this fight, and then they ask him post-fight, who do you want to fight next? Canelo! I mean, everybody's Canelo chasing, dog. Canelo chasing. We're Canelo chasing. Canelo chasing. We're Canelo chasing. John Ryder Canelo chasing. Jermell Charlo Canelo chasing. Demetrius Andrade Canelo chasing. Errol Spence Jr. Canelo chasing. I mean, the list don't stop. David Benavidez Canelo chasing. Don't get me wrong, I like Benavidez. He should Canelo chase. Why? Because Canelo said he defeated all the champions. And when it comes down to David Benavidez hearing that, he said, nah. I might have fucked up, but you never beat me. You waited till my title was stripped. You know what I'm saying? First time Coke, second time I believe the scales. He waited till the title was relieved off the waist, and then he went over there and fought for a 2-for-1. So he didn't beat every champion. He did what I said he did. You know what I'm saying? With the WBC. From 68 to 60 to 54. Who was reigning champion when he defeated? Who was reigning champion at the time he picked up those WBC titles at 54, 60, 68? I don't know. I might have to mention. But I could have sworn he didn't fight a champion at 54, 60, 68 for the WBC title. Reigning defending. As good as Triple G used to be, he's still a 160-pound fighter. Beterbiev is dangerous and a true light heavyweight with real power. He is. But you know, the one thing that is clashing with me is that he's willing to give Triple G a shot. The only lifesaver that I see with Triple G is what I believe there, Mitch. What I believe is Triple G is planning on contending at 68. He will have his first fight outside of 60. That's what I'm believing. Now, if Canelo come over here on some BS and he's saying, you know, I'll fight Triple G at this. No, I'm pretty certain that he's going to fight Triple G at 68. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty content on that, because why the hell he should give Triple G a shot at 60 when he's been contending at 68 and 75? WBC super middleweight title was a Suleiman special throw-in edition for Canelo versus Smith. Teach on deck, what's good? Salute WCS in chat. Salute to you, my brother. What's good with it? Nice try by Tom Brown, but I've said it before. None of those guys offer Canelo a title. The man is collecting trinkets for history. Man, talk your shit, bro. None of them. Charlo, he ain't putting that. We ain't having no Sugar Ray Leonard, Donnie Lamont type of special where you bringing titles from 60 and 175. We ain't getting none of that shit. And you fight at 168. We ain't getting none of that. We're not. So when it comes down to this right here, Charlo is not offering the title. Canelo is not offering the title. Benavidez don't have a title. So that's absolutely right. It does seem like everyone is chasing a payday. If you haven't heard this before, Alexander, you're going to hear it from me, right? You're going to hear it from me. I'll say it again. This is just a general response, right? Boxing does not consist of any type of benefits post-career. I don't have a problem with a fighter attempting to go for a payday. But also you have fans, consumers, who pay to see you fight. So therefore, if we have some of the best that's potentially on the docket to face the best in their division, I think we should have the right to see that first. Now, if it's a person that's on the higher tier of notoriety, like some of the fighters we know, and they want to move up and face somebody that's also on a tier of notoriety, then it kind of levels itself out. It kind of blends in and say, okay, if so-and-so want to move from 47 to 54 and face that person, cool. They're both on the higher tier of notoriety, especially if they both on the pound for pound, or they should be on the pound for pound, or if they're holding titles. If a champion want to move up and face another champion in another division, cool. All right. But when you're trying to do something absurd and move up 2.5 weight classes to fight a guy, that's lunacy at its best. When you're at a point like Jermell Charlo, and you have did absolutely zero when it comes to legacy building at middleweight. You didn't fight Yoda Murata, you didn't fight Triple G, and you never got around to fighting Dmitrii Andrade. But yet, when people ask you, "Oh, we fight anybody," Charlo's Jermell Charlo, Jermell the Hitman Charlo, I fight anybody. I fight in. Okay, if you fight anybody, then why haven't you did it on the championship level at 160 instead of just fighting anybody that's standing across the ring for you that we don't want to see? I agree. Usyk a dog. Usyk, man, I'm telling you, he has that cynical type of way. I looked at his eyes, man. I'm telling you, dude, I like Usyk, man. You know, being there, seeing him in NYC, I like Usyk. Because when I seen him walking in the streets, Usyk was walking in front of his people. Usyk was walking in front of his people, bro. He said, I ain't worrying about nobody doing a damn thing. And when I initially seen him, dude had some platform shoes on. You know what I'm saying? So he was dressed in all black, and the attire was on point for him. A brother like me couldn't get away with that. I couldn't get away with wearing that shit. I couldn't. But Usyk could. I'm here for Canelo versus Spence. King Miss, I'm here for Canelo versus Spence. Crawford or either Charlo at 160. I don't think Canelo is as confident at 160 anymore, though. Can't see any of them beating him at 168 right now. Benavidez either. I see Benavidez giving him the toughest challenge out of the names you just mentioned. But when you inject Spence and Crawford, Charlo, first of all, we haven't seen Spence or Crawford fight at 54-60. That's 2 weight divisions up. That'll be a tough fight. Now, for Jermell Charlo or Jermell Charlo at 160, if Canelo want to bless him with that weight class, cool. I feel, in a sense, that's partially fair because Canelo used to compete there, and he pretty much became the first franchise champion out of that division. So therefore, it is some type of partiality that's in that division if he was to give Jermell Charlo the shot. He would be doing Jermell Charlo a favor. He'd be doing him a favor. I think he'd do him more of a favor if Jermell Charlo was somewhat emulating the actions of Canelo Alvarez. He was up here trying to fight a Dmitrii Andrade, and he beat him. He was trying to fight a Gennady Golovkin. He was calling out their name. That didn't happen. He was trying to fight a Yoda Murata. That didn't happen. I think Canelo would consider these cats if they was somewhat going out and letting their actions speak rather than running their freaking mouth. Canelo get his ass whooped by Usyk at 201. Yeah, man. Usyk is that dude. Canelo only beat 2 champs in a row because he had mandatory defense versus Yildirim. I'm excluding Yildirim because Yildirim was just, you know, that heel insert in your shoe. That's all. It's just something that was there. No one never seen it. They weren't paying any attention. But I'm talking about the individuals he's collected belts from. I know Yildirim was a little bookmarker in there, but no one was really seeing him. Canelo is automatic return. PBC don't believe in anyone else to give a big guarantee purse. I know they don't believe in Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? They're up here fucking us off, puppetizing us, pulling strings, dangling carrots. And we're up here talking over and over again about this fight. But yet, in one narrative, people are talking about Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. And then the information come out about this offer. Then they want to talk about Canelo ducking Spence just to bolster up Spence notoriety once again. Like, that's Canelo chasing, bro. Hashtag Canelo chasing, bro. One of these cats, these party planners on YouTube, are gonna come to their senses and understand that they can put out 1,000 videos a day Not one of those videos have been responsible for making a fight. Now, is it some type of credibility or merit to these videos? Is it considered some type of news reporting? Yes, it is. But you have too many of these channels now taking upon themselves to lie about shit. Now, what you've been criticizing the main media, the old media for, now the new media is doing the same thing. Y'all putting out false ass narratives, bro. Y'all putting out false ass narratives just to build up a shocking moment. Oh, for real? Let me go verify that. You can't find this shit nowhere else. You can't find this shit nowhere else. But they putting this shit out like it's about to happen. Canelo's an automatic return. PBC don't believe. Okay, I didn't get it the first time I read it, but yeah, I agree with that, Mitch. They believe Canelo's gonna bring that money. Right now, yeah, he gonna bring the money in, bro. He's gonna bring the freaking money. Okay, let's just say, for instance, he said he was gonna fight Errol Spence. Man, bro, Texas will be in full-blown mayhem, man. If Errol Spence is able to fight Canelo Alvarez, that's all this shit to be talking about. Because this is one of those situations where people are hoping and praying, and they're pretty much babysitting and calling Errol Spence to excel on the back end of his career coming off that accident. And if he was to link up with Canelo Alvarez, they would be so overjoyed, man. Shout out to Don Dada. What's good with it, bro? Could it be Tom Brown is trying to promote Spence by piggybacking off Canelo doing his fight week? Timing seems weird of this news. Peep this out, Don Dada, and appreciate the drop. All right. But check this out. Do Errol Spence really need promoting? Like, are we not speaking enough about him and Terence Crawford? So this narrative that Tom Brown is out here front running and he's trying to Canelo chase off his fight week to promote Errol Spence. Errol Spence just jumped out of the ring with Yordenis Ugas in April. What is the benefit of him reintroducing Errol Spence to Canelo chase during fight week as if he has something scheduled? Because Canelo has made it perfectly clear he's not going to fight Spence. So what is he front running for? Is he front running to keep Errol Spence's name relevant for a Terence Crawford fight? Because if so, he wouldn't attach Errol Spence to Canelo. He would have somehow been trying to chase clout, period, and somehow link it up with Terence Crawford to somehow build up the interest, build up the crowd interest, build up the interest that somehow, some way they put out that infamous carrot dangler. Terence Crawford and Errol Spence are in talks. That's all he had to do. If you want a clout chase, if you want a Canelo chase on his fight week, all you had to do was do it that way. Because that fight between Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez, it's not imminent. That's not happening. We're trying to sit up here and seal the deal and ship that shit off with Spence and Crawford. We're not trying to sit up here and hear anything about Errol Spence wanting to be a part of Canelo once again. But people up here talking about, oh, well, Crawford don't want to fight him. This is the perfect example of capping going bad. Because we up here trying to push Crawford Spence, but yet Spence and his people are trying to get him a higher payday with Canelo. That's a duck. Let's not sit up here and act like that ain't a duck. If you have a weight class and you have set up here and made the declaration that you want to freaking unify the entire division, well, do so. Do so. Unify the division. Stay focused on the division. I know you sent out some tweets, but right now at this stage where we at with this fight, we need more interest on Spence Crawford. That's why I tell you, everything is basically evolving around Twitter. So a tweet go out, a tweet responds. A tweet go out, a tweet responds. That catches a little bit of flame, flicker a little bit, and then it goes out. Now Canelo is on deck. Now all of a sudden, like Dundada said, Tom Brown comes out with this information. Now, for the first time, Tom Brown has disclosed the exclusive details of that deal. Jermell Charlo, $45 million. And if Canelo conquers Jermell Charlo, he would then get Errol Spence at a catchweight at 164 or David Benavidez at 168. Canelo chasing Dundada. Canelo chasing, bro. They Canelo chasing. And look, he's only 31 years old. They're going to be Canelo chasing for a while. It's because none of them worth that. YouTube would try to convince you that Errol is a bigger star than he really is. Facts. Canelo is handing out paydays. That is why everyone is lining up to fight him. You're right, man. But check this out, Alexander, about Canelo handing out paydays. I don't think he's actually like, you're going to get paid regardless. If you are that person that's going in there with Canelo, you're going to get paid regardless. I think Canelo is selectively choosing who he wants to fight. And as much as we want to say that he's just fighting nothing but bums, is absolutely so far from the truth, man. It's so far from the truth. This man just went up there and beat Callum Smith for 2 belts. They gave him the vacant. He beat Callum Smith for the WBA, swiped Billy Joe, made him quit, and then goddamn stopped Caleb Plant after he had a motherfucking intervention in the 9th round. He was the first to do the shit. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to say Floyd Mayweather never unified Undisputed division. You know what I'm saying? I did. And it's gonna be hard pressed. I'm glad. Look. I'm trying to drop some gems to you because I don't know shit about boxing, right? I'm glad I'm the age I am now because by the time that Canelo ages another 8 years, 9 years, you know what I'm saying? Put him at 40. I would be much older and my hearing would be a lot worse. I don't have to hear the shit of the debates that's going to be going on YouTube about Canelo, Floyd Mayweather. Who was better? Because right now, Floyd Mayweather, I'm not going to get off topic too long, but Floyd Mayweather's appraisal is still a bit higher than Canelo because he defeated him. But Floyd never defeated the Canelo that is competing right now. Plus, Floyd has more divisions at this present time, currently, than Canelo Alvarez. And Floyd was the highest grossing athlete. Now, that's where Canelo's going to have a problem. Canelo can sit up here and he can load up the luggage. He can load up the luggage with all this freaking hardware. Just load it up and load it up. But when it comes to those numbers, y'all can't sit up here and just put everything on. Well, when Floyd fought so and so, they wasn't illegally black streaming the fights. Like, no, man. Floyd did incredible numbers, dog. He couldn't be touched. Just like y'all saying Canelo Alvarez giving people paydays. Well, what do you think he did to Conor McGregor? Who in Canelo's resume equals up to what Floyd did with Conor McGregor? I'll wait. I got to keep moving. I'll wait. Canelo pulled a side card on Errol. I don't have to do what you want. Absolutely. Absolutely. Talk that, dog. Talk that. Thoughts on Bomac? Box rec attacked by those without one. I look at it like this, D-Ray. You know the game. You know it's part of a smear campaign. You know, they waited to, Terence Crawford was out there supporting his stablemate Shakur Stevenson's unification with Oscar Valdez. They're still extremely, they still spotting, so to speak. They're spotting because the reason why they're spotting is because they're mad that Terence Crawford didn't come to the Errol Spence and Yordenis Ugas fight. So they have to keep on changing out the pad because they keep spotting and they feel some type of way about that shit. So now Vegas don't have shit to do with Errol Spence. They come out and say, let's ramp it up for whatever reason. I don't see the purpose in them bringing up Bo Max, BoxRec, and Derrick James. I don't see how that serves a purpose in making this fight. Now you want to get personal. Now you want to sit up here and talk about shit that really don't matter. Because there's a lot of big trainers out there in boxing. But Bo Max is a champion trainer and Derrick James is a champion trainer. So I really don't put too much emphasis on that, D-Ray, for sure. These Errol-sexuals said Undisputed is all Spence want. But now they okay with Errol fighting Canelo and saying Canelo duck Spence. Laughing my ass at these fanatics, I tell you, for real. You know what I'm saying? It should be some type of damn, even if you have to fake them out, Dundada, there should be some type of medication for YouTube. It should be when you put your hands on the keys and you about to be a part of some befuckery, some chicanery, it should be a medication that goes in through your fingertip and goddamn change your mind for real. This shit doesn't make any sense. You can go up here and speak to these panels and just voice your opinion. It's just an opinion, right? And they would swear up and down they have all the facts to this, that, and the other, but then they never wrong. These Spencerholics, they never freaking wrong. And then they come up and push false line ass narratives about Errol Spence. And before it was all about Terence Crawford. But then Canelo's name come up. Oh man, let me throw a thumbnail up. Errol Spence, if he does fight Canelo, he's daring to be great. No, he's daring to get canceled. Errol Spence is daring to get canceled. He move up to anything in the 60s right now. To face Cinnamon, that shit ain't gonna be sweet. Promise you. Y'all hold on for a split second. All right, we back. Andrew said Canelo going to make 140 million this year. God damn it. Ain't that sick? A 2-fight deal with PBC might take 2 years to complete as often as their top guys. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Shout out to the live chat. Shout out to the boxing heads, boxing fanatics. They be dropping these gems in there in the goddamn jewelry store, man. PBC needs to gain back the trust of the boxing fans, man. because we hearing people that still owe money. We don't know what's going on over there, man. And then on top of what Andrew just said, what makes a lot of sense is they wanted Terence Crawford to just go in there and lay himself at the mercy of PBC. They talking like a bunch of motherfucking slaves that escaped for a little bit over there. Jermell over here talking about just be the challenger, be humble, take less money. Seem like a slave to me. Only one that's been talking sense lately and said he was on borrowed time was Errol Spence. Whenever he choose to talk, clear, concise, coherency. And then finally he came out and said he was joking, but then people still want to talk about the percentages. No, that's over with. He said he was joking. It's a dead topic. Usyk Canelo chasing? Absolutely. Why not? But Usyk, look at Usyk though. Don't he have a bit more appraisal to his Canelo chasing? He was former unified cruiserweight, undisputed, and then he's currently unified heavyweight. And he beat one of the premier names that everybody was on his lap at one point in time. Anthony Joshua could do no wrong, bro. And then, I was trying to tell him that Anthony Joshua robot is nothing special. He's overrated. And then he runs into Andy Ruiz. But Andy Ruiz received the orders during the rematch. Now, we're all patiently waiting to see if Usyk can go in there and defend those unified titles. If he's able to defend the unified titles, we may indeed see an undisputed heavyweight championship against him and Tyson Fury. I do not believe, I know the WBC wants Tyson Fury to submit a letter of resignation on his retirement, on when he's going to retire, so they can keep the ball rolling. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see how that works out, because they can sit up here and bullshit us all day long, y'all. They did it so many times before. They can bullshit us all day long. And I haven't said this often, but y'all hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Share the live. If you're rocking with WCS, man, I appreciate you. Those who aren't, you still have time. You know what I'm saying? I'm up here. Hold on. All right. They say Canelo has a better chance at beating Usyk than Spence has beaten Canelo. Canelo has a better chance of beating Usyk than Spence has beaten Canelo. The latter half, yeah, but I'm not sure about the top half. Canelo, you know what I'm saying, having a better chance to beat Usyk. I mean, that is a height difference. Like, I don't know what I've seen Canelo and I've seen Dan Usyk. That is just sick, man. Like, the taller they are. Canelo is known to go to the body. So that's interesting, man. You know what I'm saying? That's an interesting thought to just let it sit out there in the universe. Canelo versus Usyk. But damn, it's Canelo chasing. You know what I'm saying? It's Canelo versus everybody. PBC is exposing Spence as a build-up fighter, Crawford, and is not supposed to beat Gamboa. I look at it like this, man. We've been talking about this. The fans want to see it. Let's make the fight, man, because people beyond frustrated, bro. Fury versus Canelo will bring in crazy money, dog. Crazy, insane. Look, Canelo may potentially break 100 million on one fight if he faces Fury. The same with Fury. Like that fight would be like on a whole nother stratosphere, bro. We're talking about the Milky Way. We're talking about being inside the Milky Way. Goddamn shit that ain't never been seen before. if Canelo calls out Tyson Fury, it will be almost like career suicide. That is a guy that we definitely know Canelo is not beating. Canelo ain't beating no Tyson Fury. But if those two wanted to make a hell of a bag, we're not talking about a Brinks truck now. We talking about a motherfucking ship, a water vessel. We talking about Star Trek. We talking about shit that's gonna be outside the mortal world for which we exist. Miss say Tim Brown is a promoter. He's just letting the boxing world know he actually made a few big offers to Canelo. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah, that's not entirely off the Richter. But check out this way. Why did it all of a sudden the news broke as it get closer to Canelo's fight? Canelo and Bivol. Why did all of a sudden we need to know the details of the offer? Why now, dog? Come on. Why now? D-Ray say that's a duck. I left my ass off. Caleb Eggplant had an intermission mid-fight. He had an intervention, dog. And that's my guy too, man. I rock with Caleb Plant, but he had an intervention. This is where it dropped off for me and Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant told me twice that David Benavidez is the easiest fight at super middleweight, but he refuses to fight him. He's fighting Anthony Durrell. He told me that David Benavidez was the easiest fight. Look at my video on YouTube. I'm off that topic. He definitely had an intervention in there with Canelo. Redhead got his fight we took. No, look, man, y'all underestimating Canelo, bro. Ain't nobody taking shit from Canelo when you about to get paid what he's getting paid. Let me frame something for you. Look at this shit. And don't overthink what I'm telling you. Did you see Canelo up on stage with his daughter? Did you see his daughter? His daughter looked like she's been sleeping on goddamn a material that we don't even know anything about. That little girl looked like she's been sleeping in heaven. She's just sitting up there well-mannered. Yeah, this is my daddy. This is my daddy. Y'all can't do shit about it. And then Canelo will speak, she'll turn around, look at him, and then keep on doing what she was doing. Canelo didn't look like he had a care in the fucking world, dog. His daughter didn't look like she had a care in the world. This man is about to get paid again. Damn. I'm not pocket watching. I don't pocket watch fighters, but I'm just, sometimes you just flutter the numbers with Canelo. And you was like, wow. Even after taxes, bro, he's still good. He's still good, bro. These fighters is coming up. I hope you have a spreadsheet on how you're going to go out and somehow, some way, elevate yourself to be in a position as Canelo Alvarez. I really hope you all have that. And then you're willing to go out there 150% to make it happen. You're gonna have to come up with a different type of you're gonna have to come up with a different game plan, man. Cause Canelo, he doesn't go out here and go through the theatrics and be a clown and have to do this, that, and the other. But that doesn't mean that everyone can get away with what Canelo is doing and still make that payday. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to find out what works for you. You're gonna have to be creative. Creativity doesn't mean coming in here looking like Tetris, a human ebony Tetris. That doesn't mean coming in here with every fucking color from the crayon box. Some people were clowning Fury for being fat, and we saw how that played out. Absolutely, man. Clown him all you want. The man broke open his jacket right in front of me in Starbucks, and I had to maintain my tact, my bearing. I was like, He said, "Look at me. I've been in Miami partying and this, that, and the other." And I was like, "Man, Tyson Fury, a wild boy. He a wild boy, man, for real." EJ should come out with his own tequila. he make dollars like Conor McNugget. See, once again, you have people in the live chat talking that sense. Now, I don't think anybody has ever put this. I'm seeing this in a live chat yet. But look, Velocity is on to something. Why? Look, as much as they talk about Errol Spence drinking, right? What's wrong with him coming up with a drink like Conor McGregor, proper 12, that he's making? Look, Conor McGregor's making millions. And the rumor is that he's drinking too much of it. But EJ come out with his own line. You know what they say about liquor and black people. We can sell liquor. You know what I'm saying? We can sell liquor. And Errol Spence at this point in time, that can be a second source of income for him to just change the game. I agree, Velocity. He should come up with some type of I'll say dark liquor, tequila, whatever the case may be. That's a good point, man. Real good point. Real good point, bro. Wilder versus Redhead. I don't know about that, man. Wilder's still one of the heaviest hitters in the game. Real talk. Y'all hit that like button, man. Wilder's still one of the heaviest hitters in the game. And when have Wilder been knocked out with body shots? I think Wilder can stop Canelo Alvarez. Real talk. When has Wilder been knocked out with body shots? The reach would just be incredible for Canelo. It would be incredible. You have somebody that's considered one of the heaviest hitters in boxing going up in there, and once again, you're looking at Usyk and Wilder. They damn near the same height. Deontay Wilder has TNT, and he would be arguably the heaviest hitter that Canelo has ever faced. Being Boxing News on deck with it. What's good? He said it's not a duck. It is not a duck. It is not a duck. Every time when there's a big fight, news pop up. That's to pull away all the attention from the current fight. It's a tactic that's been happening in the boxing world. Floyd is famous for that. Yeah, Floyd is absolutely famous for that. Floyd is maniacal. Floyd's mentality to what being boxing just said is sinister. Floyd could care less about what he's doing. And he's exactly right. And we can just turn back the calendar to when he did it to Canelo and Gennady Golovkin. Did he not? Come on. Did Floyd Mayweather not do that to Canelo and Gennady? He did. He slid in there in a date that was before their fight, took away some of their fans and took away some of their consumers, and he did not care at all, bro. Just like he did Teofimo Lopez and George Kambosos. Floyd Mayweather slid in there on the same weekend. Oh my God. And forced Triller to relocate. Triller spent millions shutting down shop and pushing the date. And then that failed. Push another date. That failed. And then they defaulted altogether. But you know who started that? Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather changed the scope on what could have been a hell of a fight. We really don't know what would have happened if a healthy Teofimo Lopez would have fought that weekend. We don't know what would have happened. But the fight was delayed 3 times. Good point, man. Very good point. Teach said moonshine. There's too much people that's out here making the moonshine, the old school way. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say Errol Spence to make, any type of moonshine, but a tequila or a dark liquor, yeah, that seems like something he can make some money off of, man. Canelo has issues with Kovalov's reach. Wilder's physical attribute would be too much. Man, anybody up here thinking Wilder gets walked over by Canelo? Stop it, dog. Look, Callum Smith was this tall dude who went the distance. You think the battles that Deontay Wilder's been in, he's incapable of going in there putting in work against Canelo? Man, please, Canelo will be in for the shock of his life, bro. Ruiz just done it to Rolly Tank. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Well, we all know what's going on with that being. We already know what's going on with that right there. We already know. Floyd said it himself. He's milking the game. He's milking it, boy. He's milking it. He has no remorse for milking the game either. He has no remorse. Floyd versus McNugget a month before Triple G versus Redhead. Absolutely. Velocity, yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't know shit about boxing, but hey, when it comes down to it, hey, those thoughts just pop up. That was the worst one of them all there. That was the worst one of all. When Floyd dipped in and he had Conor McGregor, 0-0 boxer, 2-division world champion in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. He dipped in front of one of the biggest fights that was going on in boxing, Canelo and Triple G. And he had no remorse in doing that. And charged knowing that they had PPV coming up, he charged his consumers $100 for PPV. W says ringside taking pictures. Man, that would be unbelievable. But the one thing about that, D-Ray, is I'll be curious at who will be promoting the fight. Hold on for a second. Um, yeah, I put myself on mute, man. I said I'll be right back. Andrew said Callum never hurt Canelo once in that fight, but he sent the guy to the ancestral plane in the next fight. That's boxing for you. I was expecting more from him against Canelo. Yeah, you're right. He did. Yeah, that fight that he had against Billy Joe and Caleb. Man, come on, stop. But man, hey, it's been cool, man. Let me see. Let me check over here. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to cover. I did find out something that was very interesting for the wrong reason. I talked to a mover, so to speak, at a promotion that told me something that, in my opinion, it wasn't what I do, but they said that's something that they don't care anything about. That they would rather somebody go the route that they was talking about rather than what my mentality was about the media game. And I'll say, wow, I didn't think so. I didn't think so. But hearing somebody that's in that position tell me that, it kind of changed some shit up for me. I was like, wow, okay. I'll do it that way. It's all good. But anyway, big shout out to Team Williams Jr., man, Roy Jones Jr. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the fights that's coming up with some of the fighters down here. I know Jahad Tucker finally released his date. He has a fight coming up in June. So shout out to Team Tucker that's over there. Showtime and all them, Coach Tucker over there in NYC. Keep your eyes peeled for Jahad. I definitely want to give a big shout out to Shakur Stevenson, man. I'm not going to give you no motivational speech. I'm not going to give you no proud father speech. But I will say that your post fight was taken away and stripped from you due to just things just falling apart after the fight. And you know what? The more you be in the sport, you young, the more you are experiencing the sport, you'll never let that happen again. Shakur never let that shit happen again, because he unified the division and it was stripped away from off whatever that was going on outside those doors. It was stripped away from him. And not only that, the people who was in the media room that was just, I have a video that I haven't even released yet. The people that was in the media room just talking, and you can hear Shakur answering questions and how loud the sidebar conversations was. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they stripped that man of his moment. They stripped him of his moment, man. You know what I'm saying? So I want to tell him congratulations, man. Keep on striving for greatness. Keep on fighting. As the Emperor of Boxing, man, you have unbelievable talent, and you're now the unified 130-pound champion. And the landscape of boxing is just unlimited for Shakur Stevenson. Unlimited. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Keyshawn Davis and his brothers, Keon and Kelvin. It was good chopping it up with y'all again. Keyshawn has a bright future. He seems to have his mind set on being better and better each time. He spoke about his sparring with Shakur Stevenson, how he went in there to prove a point like, yeah, I'm that dude too. So shout out to Keyshawn going in there, getting that shit popping. Shout out to Nico Ali getting a second straight knockout after that, tough performance at the MSG. Shout out to Nico. And shout out to Top Rank. Top Rank, man, they be putting on some very solid cards. They got a lot of young fighters. They have more young fighters than PBC. So more people are going to be gravitating to Top Rank to see these young fighters. PBC don't have a lot of young fighters like that. I got to give a big shout out to Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor, man. It superseded my expectations. Real talk. That fight superseded my expectations. And looking at that fight, man, I was like, it had everything that you wanted. It had suspense. You know what I'm saying? It had drama. And they had the climax. I just wish it would have been 1 more minute per round. That would have been a determining factor in that fight when it comes to the entire cardio. Because in my opinion, both fighters got tired. And then it would have been nice to see them go 12 rounds. It would have been nice to see them go 12 rounds. Real talk. The bad thing about that whole situation is that Clarissa's been trying to have her moment like that. And a lot of us are saying it like, hey, you know what I'm saying? And out of nowhere, Jake Paul comes in there with MVP Promotions. He picks up Serrano. He does a co-promotion with Eddie. And they make one of the most memorable women's fights. I was like, oh my God, man. I know Carissa's feeling some type of way, but it would have been good to see her in there. Shout out to Franchon Cruz Dezern. I actually reached out to somebody that they're trying to link her up with. She was able to go in there and defeat Sedaris. But now they're calling for Shadeja Green. If you listen, Shadeja, I call you up. I was trying to get an interview. I interviewed Shadeja when she was first starting her professional career. And now they're trying to call for her to fight Cruz Dezern. That'll be good, Franchon. I don't know if Franchon's going to stay at that weight or vacate the belt, whatever, or defend him. I don't know, but Shadeja been in the mix for a while. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him. Shout out to Craig Parker. Of course, shout out to, Terence Bud Crawford, man. I don't know what they're going to do with this fight with him and Errol Spence, but I just hope something happened to a point where we have something to grab hold to. Like I'm talking about some documentation, some promo, press release. You know what I'm saying? I want a press release. Finally, this has happened. The press release is here. Boom, we good. It's going down, y'all. We're waiting on that. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out, the Mack truck. The Kari Scott down here. Mack truck is doing big things. He's out here just Mack truck has changed levels. I've seen this cat before he even turned professional. He done changed level with Coach Mustafa. He has a fight that's coming up in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Coach Mustafa has a Mack truck. Coach Mustafa has a fight coming up in Miami. So keep your eyes peeled for Mack truck. He just picked up the WBA NABO title. So he's a heavyweight too. I know a lot of people talk about Jared Anderson, but we have another American, young line that's coming up through the ranks in the Kari Scott. So keep your eyes out for Mack truck. Keep your eyes peeled for Brian Norman Jr. Boxing is political, and we're still trying to see when Brian Norman is going to be back in the fray. Be back in the fighting hole, throwing down. I mean, he's already certified. The man is 23-0. He's already certified, man. Shout out to Grand Night City Boxing. We want to see when Brian Norman Jr. is going to step back in the square. Very entertaining fighter, man. Very entertaining fighter. So, shout out to him and his pops. I hope that they make it back to the square real soon. Maybach Hot, he has a fight coming up soon. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the man himself. You know, ATL, very connected down here. And he only has one loss. I think he's like 9-1 right now. So he should be getting back in the ring soon. Javon Woodard, him too. He should be getting back in the ring soon. He might have just came off a win. I don't know. Craig Parker, salute to you. Who else out there? I can't forget my boy Carlos Jackson, man. Shout out to Los, King Dynamite, man. I think he changed his name. His moniker. But shout out to Carlos Jackson, bro. I think he got a big fight coming up again. I don't know if it's going to be televised or not, but from what I hear, he should be stepping back in the ring. But I don't know a fight date. I just remember him mentioning it. You know what I'm saying? So, big shout out to Carlos Jackson down here in the ATL, man. That's my dog. Looking forward to seeing him get back in the square. Shout out to all them fighters over there at Grindhouse. Mo Millions, Big Snipe, all those cats. I haven't been over there in a quick minute, but I will. I'm gonna make my way back over there. Who else? Josh Greer Jr. Man, I hope you ain't out of boxing. That was my guy, man. He's the first one, man. Shout out to Josh Greer Jr. Man, don't blink. I hope he come back, get it together. I haven't seen him around in a minute, but bro, get it together, man. I definitely want to interview still, bro. You know what I'm saying? See what you've been up to. See what you're about. What's some other fighters out there? I can't remember every fighter. I just can't remember every fighter. I got to give a big shout out to Roy Jones Jr., man. I got to give a shout. When I say Roy Jones Jr., I got to give a shout out to the whole clan, the stable that he got. Shady Gilmore, I wanted to go to your fight, but I had too much going on, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Fernando Bunch. He just picked up the NBA title. You know what I'm saying? Andrew White Lightning Murphy, super middleweight. Check out the little training videos on the pre-fight warm-ups that I put out on IG. You know what I'm saying? Frez was in the building. Shout out to Kevin Newman. That was my first time covering him. Shout out to the second coming. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Newman that was on deck. And big shout out to Michael Williams Jr. picking up that other win. We ain't gonna talk about nothing else. And keep it positive, man. Boxing, you have to move these guys at a pace and don't rush them, because if you rush them to get to the top, they got to be able to handle it. And you're going to get people to say, okay, yeah, they did this. What about this? They did this. What about this? They're never going to be satisfied. So if any one of these young hitters that's in the game, take your time. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the family, man. Team Williams, all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, shout out to Team Jihad Tucker. He's on his way back in there for his 8th professional contention. Supreme Boxing Talk on deck, man. Salute to you. What's good with it, bro? Appreciate you pulling up. Andrew said, keep grinding WCS. Appreciate you, Andrew. Real talk. Appreciate you. Shields always supporting her peers, but the love is never reciprocated. Yeah, man. Clarissa Shields wanted that moment that Serrano and Taylor had. And I kind of seen it precipitating. Didn't we all? We seen it because they put Katie Taylor ahead of her on the pound for pound list. How is that possible? And she unified 2 divisions. How is that possible? But she did put on an entertaining fight, though. Seriously. She did put on an entertaining fight. I'm not going to lie. D-Ray say, what's on the undercard Saturday? So since you asked it, you know what I'm saying? Let me go find out, the entire undercard. So I looked at it earlier. I know on Canelo's undercard, I know the Montana Love out of Ohio, super light. I hope he makes weight. He's fighting Gabriel Valenzuela. And then you have Shakram Yaisov against Christian Gomez. And then Joselito Velasquez against Joso Soto. You know, and then you have the heavyweight Wally Zhang against Scott Alexander. Alexis Espino against Aaron Silva. Mark Castro against Pedro Vicente. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, the undercard isn't that heavy. But of course, they're going to be waiting for the co-main event and the main event. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure the fights in between, the flyweight fight against Joselito Velasquez and Jose Soto, I think that's going to be a pretty good fight, man. That flyweight fight. Leading up to the welterweight fight. And then, of course, Montana Love coming off that Baranchik stoppage. Yeah, they want to see some more Montana Love, man. You know what I'm saying? He getting that love, but he needs to make weight. He needs to make weight, man. Let's see, can he make 140? I don't know what the approved weight is. They gave him 141, 141 and a half, 142. We don't know. We don't know. Okay, good question. D-Ray say, will you release the sidebar video? I'm not sure. You know why I'm not sure? Because I'm solo dolo. I'm independent solo dolo. I'm still getting approved for these media credentials. Without going so far into it, I don't have a team working with me where it's just too technical to go into on why I choose not to release it right now. Because people look at the content you release and they'll look at the numbers. Look, they'll look at my numbers and say, oh, why you released that? It kind of like a black eye on this, that, and the other. And then the other media outlets, they release the shit that was going on outside and they don't care because those people are bringing in all these numbers supposedly. So me, I'm looking at it like I like being approved for these media credentials. I will release it in time, but not right now because there's already too much shit already out there. So not right now to answer your question. Pensacola in the house, yeah. Slime time, yeah, man. Deion Washington, what's good? My dog in the building, man. Salute to you. Montana Love and Philippe Herkovic versus Wally Zhang. Is that it? I don't. Is that who's fighting? I don't think that's the fight that's going down this weekend. Is it? Or you just throwing that out there as a fight, a future fight? I get it. I get the zone $100 a year for a while now. I should get the Canelo fight automatically. They want to change the monthly subscription that makes sense, but I paid my dues. Yeah, you know, I'm saying the zone feel that it's growing, even though when it comes down to us being able to see a fight, if we pay for the subscription, we should be able to see the big fights without any other extra rigmarole, man. We should be able to see these fights. Real talk. But man, y'all hold it down. Appreciate y'all pulling up, man. Continue to support the channel. And do me a favor, man. Hit the like button on your way out the door. Hit the like button, man. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like. We at 18 likes right now, man. I'm pretty sure it's been more than 18 people to come in, you know, but those of you that's in there to show love, appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. It's Mother's Day this weekend, so it's going to be a bit busy. But yeah, I'll be back on. You know what I'm saying? I'll be back on. Definitely. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports, man.